What are the biggest mistakes first-time buyers make in Ontario? After 25 years and over 3,000 transactions in Milton and across Halton, the Flowers team, we've seen every mistake in the book. I'm going to walk you through the ones that cost buyers the most in money, in stress, and in missed opportunities, so you can avoid every single one of them. Mistake number 1, starting your search before getting pre-approved. This is the single most common first-time homebuyer mistake. Falling in love with the home before you know that you can actually afford it is a recipe for heartbreak. In a competitive market like Milton, desirable homes receive multiple offers within 48 hours of listing. If you're not pre-approved, you cannot move fast enough to compete. And there's an important distinction here. A pre-qualification is not the same as a pre-approval. A pre-qualification is a rough estimate. A pre-approval means your lender has actually verified your income, your debts, and your credit, and it gives you a real number that you can act on. Mistake number 2, underestimating the true costs of buying. Most first-time home buyers focus entirely on the down payment and completely underestimate the closing costs. In Ontario, closing costs typically run from 1.5 to 4% of the purchase price on top of your down payment. On an $800,000 home in Milton, that's $12,000 to $32,000 in additional costs. The biggest single line in Ontario is land transfer tax, which on an $800,000 home is worth over $12,000. First-time home buyers do get a rebate of $4,000, but the remaining balance still catches people off guard. Add in legal fees, title insurance, moving expenses, and you need to arrive at closing date with significantly more than just your down payment. Mistake 3, letting emotions drive your offer. Buying your first home is emotional. That is completely normal. But allowing emotion to override strategy is expensive. We see first-time homebuyers overpay because they fell in love with a home, waive conditions they should not be waiving because they're afraid to lose a deal, or they stretch well beyond their budget because the property felt perfect. Your agent's job is to be the calm, objective voice in the moment, to make sure you're making a sound financial decision, not just an emotional one. That is exactly where the Flowers team earns its value for first-time homebuyers. Mistake 4, waiving the home inspection in competitive markets. Buyers sometimes waive their home inspection condition to make their offer more attractive. I get it. This is a risk that needs to be weighed very carefully. A qualified home inspector can identify issues invisible to the naked eye. Foundation cracks, roof failures, electrical hazards, plumbing problems that could cost tens of thousands of dollars to repair after closing. In some situations, a pre-offer inspection can accomplish the same goal without weakening your offer. Flowers team will always advise you on the right approach for every specific property and market situation. Mistake 5, not using a buyer agent or using the listing agent. Some first-time buyers go directly to the listing agent thinking they're going to get a better deal. That is almost never true. The listing agent has a fiduciary obligation to the seller. Their job is to get the highest possible price for their client. When you approach them without your own representation, you have no one in your corner. In most Ontario transactions, the seller pays the buyer's agent commission, which means buyer representation from the Flowers team costs you nothing out of pocket. There is simply no reason not to have an expert advocating on your side. Mistake 6, ignoring the neighborhood and focusing only on the home. You can renovate a house. You cannot change the neighborhood. School catchment boundaries, proximity to transit, future development plans, and community character all affecting long-term value and daily quality of life in ways that are very hard to reverse. In Milton, different communities have meaningful, different profiles in terms of school ratings, commute access, and resale demand. The Flowers team has in-depth, real-time knowledge of every neighborhood in Milton, and we make sure that every client understands what they are buying into before they make an offer. Mistake 7, leaving first-time buyer programs on the table. This one hurts me the most. Ontario and Canada offer meaningful financial incentives for first-time homebuyers that many people either do not know about or don't take full advantage of. The first-time homebuyer savings account lets you save up to $40,000 tax-free towards a down payment with tax-deductible contributions. The home buyer plan lets you withdraw up to $60,000 from your RSP. The first-time homebuyer tax credit can put up to $1,500 back into your pocket, And Ontario's land transfer tax rebate reduces your closing costs by $4,000. Together, these programs can make a significant difference in your ability to buy. The Flowers team walks every first-time homebuyer through every program that they qualify for, so nothing is left on the table. First-time buying in Ontario does not have to be overwhelming. With the right team around you, it can be straightforward, exciting, and most importantly, financially sound. The Flowers team has helped hundreds of first-time homebuyers in Milton and across Halton Region navigate this process successfully. If you're ready to take your first steps, reach out to us. We'll make sure that you do it right.